interesting one. I'm really excited about it. But first, I want to start off by saying thank you guys again for all the support of my recent videos. Um, it really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much for checking out the videos. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you guys. Um, in this video, I might do auto-generated captions for the first time. Some of the words might not be 100% accurate, just because when I was trying to do this before, the video editing app I used kept like messing it up, and I kept trying to edit it, and then it kept crashing out. But let me know down below if I end up doing them. Let me know if you like the auto captions in this video. Even if there's like one or two words that might not be accurate to what I'm saying, most of it should be pretty accurate, I think. But without further ado, what are the 12 Jungian archetypes, and what archetype are you? This is a pretty interesting one. It's by psychologist Carl Jung, and it states that there are 12 archetypes in the collective unconscious, meaning every person has experienced one of these archetypes at one point. However, there's 12 dominant archetypes. These archetypes are the innocent, the orphan, the sage, the magician, the jester, the lover, the creator, the ruler, the rebel, the caregiver, explorer, and the ruler. So yeah, everyone experiences this at some point in life, but it suggests that there's usually a dominant and a couple passive ones. In my mind, I feel like, for me at least, in my opinion, there's usually at least 3 or 4 that you can relate to on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, let's start off with the innocent. The innocent is kind of like what it sounds like. These people are optimistic, happy, and pretty like happy-go-lucky, and believe what they want to achieve is possible, and they're very optimistic. However, with this optimism might stem inaction because they believe that it's going to happen regardless. Whereas they might struggle with action sometimes, but specifically because they feel like it's just going to happen. Kind of with their optimism is so high and like awesome that sometimes it's great, but a downside could be the optimism leads to just kind of waiting, you know? Also, so that's the innocent. They also are very happy, but they sometimes can fall for things very easily because they, you know, they might potentially be naive. This type of archetype, they're still awesome people, but they're just naive typically, and might fall for things more often than not because of how innocent they are. And they also might rely on other people quite often, because because they haven't had a lot of experience yet. They're like kind of a new person who's to a job, or a new person trying to learn the ropes, you know. And this would be the innocent archetype. So yeah, hopefully one of these archetypes you guys can relate to, or multiple, or just to see someone that you are like, oh, this person's definitely this archetype. It's pretty interesting to kind of figure that out a little bit. The next one is orphan. The orphan and the innocent are very similar because they both rely on people, but for different reasons. The orphan might feel potentially has at one point been rejected before, and because of this, they feel a need to be connected with people. However, they might struggle with this because of being rejected before. They might have a hard time opening up and might feel left out sometimes, which is a shame. So for this archetype, this person would be very kind, very open, but they just might be the more negative, like the innocent. If the innocent got rejected or felt left out, they might become the orphan. Very similar, but it's sadly like if the innocent loses their optimism, they might fall into or got rejected, they might fall into the chance of being the orphan archetype. So yeah, that's also the orphan. But the positives, they're very caring. Once they open up to you, even though they have a hard time opening up, they're very caring, very empathetic, and very one of the most empathetic archetypes probably in the entire thing. So even though they potentially got rejected, they're really empathetic, nice people. The third one, the ruler. The ruler is driven type of person is simply driven by power. And now this sounds kind of brutal, like me roasting them like power, but like the good type of power. These people just want to feel capable. Capable not just in themselves, but capable in being able to lead other people. They probably don't feel incapable with themselves, but they might feel like they want to make a difference, and they feel like the only way they can make a difference is by leading others. So the positive of this is they're great leaders, inspiration, and they inspire other people with their leadership. Negativeness, if they get too powerful, or they become too confident in their position of power, they might become too tyrannical, potentially, and be authoritarian. Instead of leading through example, they might become too comfortable or just too potentially too confident that they might start instead of leading through example, they might start leading through force. So that's the ruler archetype. These people are driven by just wanting to feel like a leader, feel powerful. And this might stem from the lack of lack of not feeling as powerful, maybe. The hero is very simple. The hero wants to be a good person, and they want to they might deep down feel not not capable. So the hero is the type of person who is similar to the ruler. However, they both might feel not super capable, but the ruler wants to fulfill that void by a position of power. The hero wants to fulfill that void by being helpful and being strong. So similar but a little different. The hero might be a good person for like hardworking jobs like security, all types of things. They're very courageous, and they can good like security jobs like police. Anyone who wants to make strong difference through strength would be considered the hero. Bodybuilders, all those types of people that want to make a difference through being strong. The downside can potentially, they're still awesome people, but they might, if there's no problem, right? The hero has nothing to save. There's no crime, there's nothing going on. The hero has no problem, and there's no problems. The hero can't be the hero. This being said, they might sometimes, not always, might purposely start arguments with people and problems with people just so they can resolve them. So the type of person is that they might suffer, even though they're very bold, positively they're brave, good providers, awesome people. They might sometimes suffer from arrogance, unintentionally. So that's the hero. So hero and ruler just like both suffer from not feeling capable, but the ruler takes the position of leading or power. Hero takes a position of strength. I need to express strength because I don't feel capable, maybe potentially, whereas ruler might not feel capable, so they seek power, potentially. The magician is the more experienced version of innocent. So take innocence optimism and put it to a lot of years of experience and like techniques and strategy and stuff. The magician believes that they can make their dreams come true, and because of this strong belief, they usually do. So they take the optimism from the innocent kind of, but they apply it a little bit more. But the innocent are still awesome people, but the magician actually takes action more. But they might be they inspire people indirectly, unlike the leader who inspires directly, to chase their dreams. Basically, they just go after their dreams and they keep chasing, and they inspire people, which is really awesome. The downside with the magician is they might be, if they might become manipulative at some point because they might come hit a roadblock, and the only way they feel like they can get past this roadblock is kind of be somewhat manipulative. So magician inspires others, makes their dreams come reality, but can sometimes become manipulative if they feel like they can't achieve something, because they don't like feeling like they can't achieve a dream. The creator wants to make something of themselves. So the creator is also similar to the magician and the innocent and the ruler. The creator wants to leave an impact, and they don't care how it is. So, however, they do so. So the creator is innovative, and basically any person that's like technologically inclined could be considered maybe like a creator in a way. So people are good with technology, futuristic, forward-thinking, innovative, creative. The thing with the magician is they're creative, but they and they want to leave an impact. So they want to leave a legacy, basically, of something that they did. It's more so, not just that, but more so of something that actually is physical, tangible legacy. The downside can be sometimes they become perfectionists because they want to achieve this legacy, physical or non-physical, but usually more like a physical thing. So they become obsessed almost in a way, and they feel like they always have to improve to the point where it can take a toll on them because they're so focused on building something great that leaves a legacy. The sage, this is really a cool one. This person just likes to learn new things and is very wise. They like to think a lot, and they're very analytical. They see problems like through an analytical lens. The downside with this one, obviously, is sometimes they can still be really caring people and awesome people, right? But they might become so detached emotionally, they might have a hard time forming emotional connections with people. And they might struggle with that, and they might say something or harsh or brutal sometimes without the intent, because they're not thinking emotionally, they're thinking logically. And when you act with logic, it tends to hurt with emotions more, because logic is not really the same as emotion, They're opposite. So when you act with logic, acting with logic typically hurts emotions, hurts feelings, because they're two opposite things. The explorer seeks freedom and hates being tied down. So they want to travel, they want to have fun, they don't want to be boring. They fear being boring. So this person doesn't often seek power. If they do, it's only because they want to feel free. They might have a hard time with commitment in relationships. And they love to travel. So their weaknesses is they're impulsive, they're sometimes reckless, but they're still awesome people, and they're, on a positive note, they like to explore, adventurous, and try new things. And they don't like routines and like to try new things. Very open people. So that's the explorer. The lover, this person is, if you see my brain chemical videos, they're kind of like oxytocin, the embodiment of oxytocin, the love hormone. They're caring, they seek romantic relationships. These people are really good with friendships. That's like their skill. And they're very relationship oriented. They might, however, struggle with relationships because they might struggle with vulnerability. They don't like to be vulnerable, and to make a relationship work, you have to be vulnerable, So they're great with getting into relationships, but maybe have a hard time, or just desire them, but they have a hard time with them because they fear being vulnerable, and they fear rejection. Kind of like the orphan archetype and the innocent archetype. they also fear rejection. But specifically, they fear more rejection from romantic interest than normal rejection. They're more afraid of romantic rejection and sometimes friendship rejection, but not rejection in general. They're afraid of losing friends and losing relationships from disconnection and being rejected by them, but not just rejection in general. The rebel is this person wants to change the world, kinda, but they're kind of a gangster about it. They're really cool. It's a cool archetype, the rebel, but they might invoke aggression in people, and they might so positive that they make the people that really make the change a lot in the world. They make social change more so than the creator makes technological change, whereas the rebel in a way are actually kind of similar because they make a change as well, but it's a social change. It's a philosophical change. It's a mindset change to society. So the rebels are controversial, go against the normal status quo, and they inspire other people to be more independent, more free. That would be the rebel archetype. The caretaker, this is the very similar to the loving caretaking type, but this is to the type of person that wants to take care of other people's needs and really get to know other people. So good doctors, nurses, etc. However, they might do so at the extent of hurting their own needs and not fulfilling their own personal needs. And because of this, they might enable people to be more dependent on them, because the caregiver, and then you put the innocent together, it's not really that great because the caregiver will almost make them unintentionally rely on them because they're so caring. And it's same with if you put the orphan and the caregiver together, and even if you put the lover and the caregiver together. However, the caregiver are also people, because they're so kind and nice, that they give up their own needs for others. They enable sometimes by accident, and that's a negative one. They enable sometimes, and they might give up their own needs. That's going to be the negative of the caregiver. The gesture, this person's main desire is to have fun in life. They don't take anything seriously, like which is a good thing. They're not boring, they're pretty lit people. They prioritize just having a good time. One negative thing is they might have a hard time taking things seriously, and so they might procrastinate. They might push things off. They might take things that are very serious, not serious at all. Kind of similar to the innocent, because the innocent has so much optimism that they sometimes don't take things seriously. But the innocent might not. The gesture might make jokes about something that's like super harsh, or the innocent might hold it back a little bit in that scenario, not to hurt feelings, I guess, or like cause chaos. The gesture does not. The gesture causes a lot of chaos because they go well with the rebel. The gesture and the rebel go really well together. But they don't take things that seriously. And the difference between the gesture and the rebel wants to make a significant impact. The gesture just wants to have a good time. And the innocent also just wants to have fun and be happy in life. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, those are all 12 archetypes. I don't know if I forgot any. I'm going to check real quick. There'll probably be another one coming up soon if I forgot one. But yeah, this video might or might not have all the captions in. It's going to be really awkward if I didn't do all the captions, because I said it did. But as always, thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe if you want. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.